Goliath is, in my opinion, the best roller coaster at Six Flags Great America. A little while ago, I did a vote between Goliath and Twisted Cyclone to see which coaster you guys would want me to build, and you guys said Goliath, so I built a 6-foot model of it. First thing I did was I found lots of images of the ride that I could use for reference later on. This one right here in particular is really good because I can see the ride from an overhead angle. The first thing I did was I built the brake run, which kind of goes at an angle through the lift and drop. I started building out the structure a little bit right here because that's where the main airtime hill is going to go. Right here, I've curved the structure a little to align it to the same grade as the drop. Looking back at the reference image, you can see that the airtime hill kind of goes at an angle back toward the lift. So I finished the turnaround. I think it looks really good. It looks super similar to the real coaster. You're probably wondering why I'm using tube supports instead of box supports for this section, because it is a wooden roller coaster. But the thing is, I only have so many granite rods, which is the main thing that you need for box supports. But if I switch off between tube supports and box supports, I won't run out of pieces so quickly. Aside from that though, the structure is actually really strong, and when I send the train over it, it doesn't even shake a little bit. So I finished the zero-G stall. It's looking pretty good. I've tried to copy that curved truss system that holds up the zero-G stall that can be found on the real ride. I've had to take out the structure a little bit right here so the car doesn't run into it when it exits the stall. The track right here actually goes lower than the track over there because in the real ride there's a tunnel right here, so that's why it goes lower. The brake run right now, if I kept continuing it, would actually run into the support structure on the stall, so I'll probably have to angle it a little bit more. Alright, so I finished the entrance to the stall. It's pretty easy. I just basically had to copy the same thing as the other side. The stall was kind of leading a bit because it had to hold up the track. I tried to add in some extra supports, but it didn't really help. I don't think there's anything else I can really do. I started working on the dive loop, but I ended up having to lower down the zero-G stall because otherwise this coaster could have ended up being way too tall, and I probably would have ran out of pieces. That should also help with the pacing too, so it doesn't go too fast over the last couple of elements. I think the stall still looks pretty good though. I don't think it's as good as it was, but it's okay. For the dive loop, I've made it so that the track actually goes through the structure and not on top of it. Alright, so I finished the dive loop. It's looking pretty good. I had to add a little bit of extra structure because when I first sent the train over, it was kind of shaking a little bit, but now it's pretty good. I've also built the airtime hill, and it doesn't really look that good. So I think what I'm going to do is replace the tube supports with box supports and then also stiffen up the track, and hopefully that should make it better. Alright, so I've reshaped the airtime hill using box supports, and the coaster is way smoother now. Also went back and reshaped the entrance and exit to the stall. Now that that's all done, here's a little test run. Now that the airtime fill is finished, the only thing I actually have left to build is the overbank turn right there, then obviously the giant first drop, and then after that the coaster should be done. So remember how earlier when the train had to go through the dive loop super fast to be able to make it around the zero-G stall? Well, I've lubricated the train and added extra weight, and check this out. It makes it through the stall, and I barely had to push the train. Alright, so I've finished about half of the overbank turn. Should be pretty easy from here though, because I just have to copy the structure to the other side because the element's pretty much symmetrical. And then of course after that, the only thing left to build will be the first drop. For the most part, the coaster is looking pretty good, except I'll probably try to redo this airtime hill a little bit to make it smoother, but I think that's probably the only thing that I'm going to need to change. Alright, so I've finished the drop now. I didn't really have enough pieces to finish the entire lift hill, but what I'm going to try to do is add a chain like at the very top. That way it'll be easier for filming. Other than that though, the coaster should be done. Before you see the final results, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing if you haven't already.